Shalom, shalom. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Kian. And we're once here again with another expose on the Esau Edom using the elections that are currently going on here in Nigeria, where Jake is scattered into right now. Okay, and the elections have been going on for a minute. And the new drama and the new news going into it is that, well, basically, you had some unfair practices in the form of rigging, okay, where the elections were rigged in favor of one candidate above the other. So one candidate won, but because of the rigging, the results came out that another candidate won, and now you have a bit of a civil unrest going on right now in Nigeria concerning this matter. Okay, but here we have an article that's going into the hidden hand, showing you that Esau Edom, the elites of Esau Edom, are in full control over the state of affairs, over the elections that go on in Nigeria. But this isn't just a president for a president's, okay, before you get it confused with president, but this isn't just a president's just for Nigeria. But what this shows you is that in all actuality, Esau Edom, okay, the elites of Esau Edom are controlling the elections and controlling who comes into power for all other parts of the world and all other countries. Which is why you always see these devils, the international community as they call it, which is basically the elites of Esau and their agents, always watching the elections of various countries in order to control who goes in, okay? So now this is the Guardian, an article from the Guardian revealed the hacking and disinformation team meddling in elections. Okay, so let's go into it. A team of Israeli small hats contractors who claim to have manipulated more than 30 elections around the world using hacking, sabotage, and automated disinformation on social media has been exposed in a new investigation. The unit is run by Tal Hanan, a 50-year-old former Israeli Special Forces operative who now works privately using the pseudonym Jorge and appears to have been working under the radar in elections in various countries for more than 2 decades. So basically, this isn't the CIA, but rather Mossad, okay, which is basically Israeli intelligence, and even more of a expose to show you that this is all being controlled by Esau Edom. So they send out these and their secret agents, right? They are, is it the financial hitmen, but not them exactly, but the secret agents that go and tamper with elections in various parts of the world, including Babylon the Great, which is why you always hear about Russian collusion, Russian spies during elections, because all these elections, they are all being controlled, they are all being, monitored by Esau Edom to make sure that the correct party, the correct individual, the correct candidate gets put in power, okay, without regards for the wishes of what the citizens or for the wishes of the citizens or what they choose. So now we start with these precepts, okay. This is the book of I believe that in the book of Habakkuk, the first chapter. But let me just make sure. Okay, it's Micah. So this is the book of Micah 2 verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, okay, I've gotten the whole point right there. They oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And the reason why they are controlling these elections and trying to choose the candidates and interfering with the quote unquote democratic process is because in order to in order to push their new world agenda, in order to push their agenda in that country, okay, so that the president that gets put in, the leader that gets elected, is 100% working for them. This is all a plan from the elites of Esau Edom in order to have control over all the parts of the world, because we already know that the earth has been given into their hand. So now all they are doing is just trying to preserve the control that they have over the earth. Okay, like the apostles always say, your leaders are not elected, they are selected by the elites of Esau Edom. And this is one of the articles going into the proof of that, because now you have one, okay, because there's most likely to be more. So one allegedly of these intelligence agents that meddle and interfere with elections by using hacking and various other methods, okay, disinformation and so on and so forth, in order to interfere with the elections and in order to change the results of these elections have just been exposed. So now let me continue reading this. So now continuing on, he is being unmasked by an international consortium of journalists. Hanan and his unit, which uses the code name Team Jorge, have been exposed by undercover footage and documents leaked to The Guardian. Hanan did not respond to detailed questions about Team Jorge's activities and methods, but said, I deny any wrongdoing. The investigation reveals extraordinary details about how this information is being weaponized by Team Jorge, which runs a private service offering to covertly meddle in elections without a trace. The group also works for corporate clients. Hanan told undercover reporters that his services, which others described as black ops, were available to intelligence agencies, political campaigns, and private companies that wanted to secretly manipulate public opinion. And you also get this happening on social media as well, where you now have, Twitter being able to, but that's another thing that's going into the United States elections, and I don't really have too much details on that, so I shouldn't even talk about it. But this is showing you that basically the elites of Esau Edom are already on that. They already have agents out here to control the results, okay, of this election and push and sway the results in their favor over your own. So the reason why you quote unquote exercise your civil rights by voting, believing in the democratic process, believing in the democratic government and with democratic process, that the system is set up for the people, by the people, of the people, so on and so forth, but not realizing that all you are doing by participating in Esau's democracy, by voting, you're not really changing anything. Because and I think I've already brought this up before, there is a quote from the world that if votes actually had the power to change things, the elite would not have given that power to you people out here in the okay. Basically, what you do by voting, all you are doing by voting is taking part in this beast system. Okay, you are worshiping the image of the beast, as the scriptures say, and you are following in the ways of this devil. Okay, which of course he is a liar, because as you can see, using misinformation, using lies and deceit in order to in order to push his agenda on the earth, which is like the scriptures say in the book of, I believe that's John 8:44. And let's see where I can get that precept. Okay, John 8:44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And you have joined in the ways of Esau Edom. You have chosen the path of Esau Edom that these devils have set up in the world, okay, which is why you partake in his elections, you partake in his government, in his rulership, by choosing to vote. Because I've already done all the breakdowns and gone into this. Basically, the word vote means to take a vow, okay? And what vow, and the vow you are taking is to Esau Edom and to this beast system, okay? By choosing that and saying we would have this individual that is a candidate, right? Set up as a ruler over us, which is against the scriptures, okay? Because even the scriptures tell you that the ruler will be chosen not by the people, but by the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. And even more so, you go to the book of Jeremiah 10, from the second verse, it tells you, follow not in the ways of the heathen. And let's get that. Jeremiah 10, Salakia. Jeremiah 10, verse 2. Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So the main point being, learn not the way of the heathen. And one of the ways of the heathen is the democratic system of government. Okay. So now continuing on, we have already gotten the main point. Even giving you a name, Hanan, basically going back to Jorge. So continuing on. One of Team Jorge's key services is a sophisticated software package, Advanced Impact Media Solutions or AIMS. It controls a vast army of thousands of fake social media profiles on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Gmail, Telegram, and YouTube. Some avatars even have Amazon accounts with credit cards, Bitcoin wallets, and Airbnb accounts. So this is showing you how extensive their intelligence network is, okay, in order to be able to do these things in which they do, which is basically, they're just set up as a misinformation group, and you know that it's not just elections that they're involved in. And this is just the inner conspiracy theorist in me coming out, where I start to think about all the other angles in which this can be used for, because it's not solely just for elections. The same thing could be set up for the some of the what's that have been going on in the past few, I want to say, years or so. Okay, so continuing on, the consortium of journalists that investigated Team Jorge includes reporters from 30 outlets, including Le Monde, Der Spiegel, and El Pais. The project, okay, they're just going into the different informations about this whole situation, okay, where they found out this information, okay. But the point that you want to get is that this is a showing, okay, an expose to prove that the elections are always rigged, okay. They are always rigged. The elections in this kingdom are always rigged in the favor of Esau Edom. And the candidates that they choose are the ones that are made and chosen to push their, a new world or their great reset, so on and so forth. Which is why is it not obvious right now with all the things that are going on here in Nigeria? The elections have come and gone, but yes, you still have no cash going out. Okay, the Supreme Court or the Supreme Court here in Nigeria has already ruled that that the old currency can be used as legal tender, but because the central bank is controlled by the Federal Reserve, okay, which in turn is controlled by the Rockefellers or the Rothschilds, I believe. The central bank has not yet made a declaration on that, and commercial banks, which are being controlled by the central bank, which you already know who the central banks are controlled by, and the commercial banks are not accepting that old currency as legal, in deposits anymore. So now here in this country, we are still all out here without any actual currency. Okay, basically you have a complete failure of the financial system to the point where you can't even get currency. So you can't even get currency. You can't withdraw money from your account. You have to be doing wire transfers to and fro, which of course that fails as well because the banks in Nigeria are infamous for their bad network. Okay, network problems, transfer errors, so on and so forth. And this is all just a gradualism. Okay, so testing the waters to see how his unrighteous decrees that he's pushing all over the earth, how they will be performed and how the people will react to it. So once again, you are taking part in the beast system. You are worshiping the image of the beast. This is what it means to worship the image of the beast. When you adopt the ways of this beast, which includes the democracy, and you proudly partake in it, which you have our people out here, okay, doing with this whole voting thing, taking part in Esau's kingdom and his system, following in his ways and agreeing with his wickedness. Okay, but you know what? I'll end the video right here. Just wanted to go into this. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahawashai, Ba'asham Racha Kwadash, Wa Abad Babal, and with the spirits I'll be Akyam, and you are Gwath were edified. Shalom.